Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here at Beach of Scaly Beasts. In this episode, you're just going to follow me around doing some of my reptile chores, see some of the animals, we're going to feed some animals. Basically this is just a day in the life of me being off work, wife's away at work herself, so I'm just going to get stuck in and start cleaning some stuff. So hopefully you can stick around and enjoy.
God, it all begins tomorrow. Just in a little moment where I'm hiding from the room. I swear to God, it all begins tomorrow. And soon I will be going.
Before we do get started though, guys, if you do like this video at all, please consider subscribing to the channel. I had a look at it the other day on my YouTube analytics, and turns out 67% of you aren't subscribed that watch my channel quite frequently. So it doesn't cost anything, it's not going to harm anybody or anything. It doesn't, just hit that little button down the bottom so you can stay up to date with what I'm doing here. And if you really do like the video, just make sure to drop a like down below, because I'd love more of you guys to join on board. We're just about to crack 800 subscribers here, and I've got 3,000 people following us on Facebook as well, just checking out the animals. So if you haven't even liked us on Facebook, make sure to go across there and give us a quick like as well. Anyway, that's enough from me. First things first, I need to clean out Loki's enclosure. So I'm going to attempt to get Loki out of his enclosure. I just want to have a bit more of a close-up look at him, see if I can get a little bit of hands-on. Yeah, I'm wearing a glove, but you know what? His nails are really, really sharp. I don't particularly like getting scratched up by him. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can get him out. Usually the easiest way for me to grab him is actually if he's in his water kind of swimming around. Then it lets me get a hand on him pretty easily. He is super fast on land, so me trying to grab him there can be a little bit, how's it going? Now, I don't actually really handle my monitors a hell of a lot, so if you're wanting an interactive kind of pet, this isn't the way to go about it, because you do kind of break a bit of trust in that sense. But in saying that, he's not too bad usually when I've got hands on him, but it's just getting a hold of him that can be a little bit tricky in that sort of situation. Usually once I open up his enclosure too, he's pretty food responsive, so can get a little bit hairy. So this is my main man, Loki. Clearly not happy about being restrained. I don't blame him. I just wanted to give him a quick once over. Just kind of have a look at a few things around him. In particular, checking out some of his claws. Because early on he had a few of his claws missing. So it's good to be able to kind of just see him up close and make sure there's no open wounds or anything around him. A while back too, about this time, maybe last year or the year before, he lost the end of his tail tip. So I don't know if that's coming out on a good shot there, but yeah, he had a bit of an incident where he managed to get it caught on something inside of his enclosure, and it, unfortunately, he just lost the tip of it. He ended up going under for it actually. He ended up costing me about a week's pay in a surgery. That's all right. Do these things for the animals you love. You're all right, mate. He's a big, strong lizard. He's definitely not shy in eating at all these days. So he used to be absolutely horrible for it. I'd never actually see him eat. I think it took me about 12 months or so to actually see him eat in front of me. But now he's a pig, so yeah, he's definitely not shy about eating in front of me now. Such a stunning monitor, this guy. I've always had a fascination with water monitors. I think in New South Wales in particular, because you can't actually own crocodilians or anything, this is kind of the closest thing I can get to a crocodile in a sense. But he's so smart, so smart. He's getting a little bit of a blood flush through his throat now as well. Varanus indicas actually have a way to make themselves bleed from their gums, of all things, which I don't know if it's supposed to be an intimidation technique or what, but I haven't seen him doing it personally. and I don't actually know why it would be of a benefit to them. He's blowing himself right up, right through his belly. He's holding a lot of air inside of him. But he's not really struggling around or anything at the moment. I don't have that tight a grip on him. Yeah, it sounds silly, but I don't mind having the glove on just as a little bit of protection. More so from the claws than anything, but just in case he does manage to turn around and give me a little love bite, just puts that little bit of thickness in between me and my skin. I do value my own blood. I don't think you really get like a hero badge for taking a bite from an animal like this. I don't want to, so yeah, no need. He's got a big thick tail on him. He's yeah, definitely a big intimidating animal. And he's got a bit of growing to do too, so it'd be nice if he kind of stayed around this size, but I think he can get a little bit bigger than this. Currently he's probably about 1 metre long, maybe just shy. You're right, mate. I'd actually love to be able to put him out in my turtle pond for a little bit, just to see what happens, but my only drama with doing that is I don't know how I'd get him out. Because if he was really charged up in the sunshine and I open up that big top hatch, I think he'd fly out and be halfway down the road to KFC looking for his next meal, so. But I'd love to be able to put him out there just to kind of watch him swim around, watch him bask in natural sunlight. It'd be pretty entertaining. Not to mention the enrichment that he'd actually get from doing that. So I do actually have to clean out Loki's enclosure today too. So I am going to try to encourage him to actually go inside of his little den. He's got a hide box that I do not enter. That's his domain 100%. So what I will try to do is I will try to actually put him inside of there and just kind of close it off as well, so then I can have the doors open, drain out all of his water, give his little boardwalk there a bit of a clean because he's made a right mess of it. And later today he'll be getting a feed as well, so I'll make sure to film that for you, providing he wants to come out for it, which after this, who knows, but I'm sure he will. He's usually not too shy. So yeah, this is my little velociraptor. Loki, a mangrove monitor, a little Varanus indicus. Wow. Actually, it could be a little taxonomy change with these guys as well. I can't remember the name that Scott Iper's thrown out there, but yeah, there could be a change on the horizon for these guys. Alright, so after riling Loki up with all of that, we're going to get stuck in and clean some of this up because he's got some urate all over these boards up here, and believe it or not, this is what he does to the water quite frequently, so we're going to give this a nice big 100% water change and try to get some of this funk out of here. He's currently down in his little hide box there. Just put his water bowl and a couple of bricks on top there just to save him coming out and giving me a bit of a surprise halfway through. Just makes it easier on him and it makes it easier on me too.
What can I do? The world is mad. What can I say? What can I do? I'm just a man. Don't stop this, we need a break. Our dreams are breaking down tonight. Caterpillars, on space.
Alright, Loki's enclosure's nice and clean. I'm just going to fill it up with water after I turn the tap on. Ooh, now we're cooking. So yeah, I'm giving his enclosure a quick once over. It's a lot cleaner in there now. Gave it a quick opportunity to actually clean back the glass as well. And with what I could, I cleaned back the perspex, but you know, take that with what it is. There's still a little bit of grime in there. It's almost impossible to get it all out because it actually collects in that little drain there, seeing as I don't use the filter. So it's never going to be perfect, but it's a lot better than what it was. Something else I am going to do for him is I am going to cut him a new log to actually sit inside of his pond, so to speak. So then he's actually got something he can get in and out on a little bit easier. Even though he can make it in and out by himself, he's a little bit clumsy at times. So I want to just give him a bit of gum branch and he can sit on that inside the water. smells like water monitor in here. That's one thing about water monitors. They really are dirty animals. There's no rhyme or reason where they poo. I think it's just nice and easy to let everything loose in the water, and does have a little bit of an odour to it. But here comes a new log for Mr. Loki. Hopefully he appreciates it. I'm sure he will. I'm hoping it'll actually sit nicely in here. Give him somewhere where he can actually get out on. So before, I have had logs in here in the past, but he always seems to just knock them in. So I've cut quite a big piece of timber now, so hopefully he can't actually, you know, muck it around too much, and it can actually sit in here. The water's probably going to go filthy with tannins and all sorts from it, but as I said, like big water changes, they tend to fix everything up anyway. But yeah, still probably got about another 100 litres or so to fill this up. So I'm going to start on the next task. We're going to just tidy up the turtle pond a little bit because it's a bit overgrown. So let's go get a start on that while this is still filling up. Okay. This definitely needs a tidy up in here. You see we got weeds galore going on. I'm just going to start yanking some of these bad boys out. They'll all be back in a month's time anyway. But for now, especially with the winter sun, we're going to try to allow some more sunshine into this. I'll leave that one there. This is grown right up and over as well, so I think it's time to give this a bit of a haircut. We'll let it grow back in. Not going to do a massive amount of maintenance on this. It's more so just being able to tidy it up a little bit so we can see a little bit more in there. Also encourage the turtles to be able to come out and bask in here. If there's no sun getting on their basking platform, then they're not going to want to really come out. Well, Loki's tank's almost done. Alright, we'll go and turn Loki off. Before we go back in there, alright. There we go. I think that'll be enough to open that up for now. I don't want to take too much out of it because it is quite pretty and it does provide a lot of cover for the Cunningham skinks. What I'm actually going to do with those branches though is we're going to give them to Sonic. He actually really loves to eat this. That's pretty much sorted that out. I do have to put these chains back on as well because they're they've come off unfortunately, so I might just reconnect these. Let's do that quickly now actually. And a couple of blotchies are out basking as well this morning. There's a big girl. And I'm pretty sure that's the little male in that tank there. Getting a bit of sunshine. Alright, Loki's chomping at the bit to get out. So we're gonna carefully remove these bricks. And before he jumps out, and hopefully doesn't launch on me. Fill that up. Now he's free. He'll come out shortly, no doubt. How cool is this, guys? Don't know if you can see him in the frame, but in amongst all those leaves, there's one of the young gillons just out for a bask. Such beautiful little animals. Alright, so before we try our, or complete our next task, I've actually just started defrosting some quails. Gonna get rid of these bricks as well so I don't trip over them. Yeah, so Pisces actually gave me a whole bunch of quails to try out. I think they want to make sure that I like them because potentially they want to bring them into the shop. I don't know, they're trying to win a few favours. So yeah, anyway, I started defrosting a few of those because we're going to give hopefully the roughies, the green tree pythons, Loki and Atlas all some birds today. So I like to mix it up for these guys. She loves little chicks and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how it all goes. But we've just got those defrosting away. Actually, I want to show you my brown tree snake as well, because in the last video that I took out, or put out rather, she wasn't doing so crash hot. She's doing a lot better now. So you can see that this is well and truly humid in here. But she's got all of her shed off. She's looking nice and clean. It's a tiny little mark on her head from it, but nonetheless she'll be right. I think she's asleep right now too, so try not to startle her too much. Yeah, she got all her shed off. She's looking fantastic. She's had a couple of good big feeds for me too. So I think she's back onto the right track, so I'm really stoked on that. So something's actually been happening with the Exoterra rack as well, the Miss King system, the timer. It's a really old style timer. I think it's playing up on me a little bit because it has drained out a good portion of its reservoir. It just got like stuck on almost. So I think I'm going to have to buy a new timer. So I have to get around to that at some point. But for now, I'm just kind of like manually sticking the Miss King pump into the wall socket just so it can kind of run for 15-20 seconds here and there. But yeah, anyway, what I need to do today, I need to top up the RODI reservoir, give these a good spray down. I'm going to clean the front of the glass on the tanks that are dirty, and I'm actually going to trim back a few of the plants in some of them that are a bit overgrown too. Because I'm hoping to actually squeeze a few extra plants into these, and actually hopefully the Boyd's Forest Dragon Enclosure as well. Because I've actually also got a new light system on its way for the Boyds, so that'll hopefully punch a bit more light into that tank as well. Haven't gone the Arcadia Jungle Dawns and stuff like that. I don't have that kind of money to play with at the moment. I'd rather spend that on the Miss King system timer. But I am going to get another kind of like a dual T5 system that good friend Mitch put me on too. So I'm just waiting for that to turn up. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to get this all sorted and give it a good spray down. And then after I've had a good spray down in there, we're going to clean up the glass. fill up this for the time being. Yeah, so what happened when the Mist King system got stuck on is it essentially drained out probably about 10 litres into all of the tanks that are hooked up to it. So it definitely wasn't ideal. Yeah, so I've kind of let these almost dry out for a good week or so now, just to make sure that I wasn't going to, mist them over the top. I didn't want to cause any sort of like scale rot or anything on anyone or anything unnecessary. But now it's pretty dry in most of these enclosures. So I'm just going to hook this back up, give them a good spray.
Sally brother, wanna know, will you ever begin to show?
This is so cool to see. This is my big diamond python arrow. She's up climbing on her branches, which I think I've only seen once before. If I was to hazard a guess, it's probably because the quails are defrosting in the bucket behind me. She loves quails. These guys won't be getting fed. I'm really backing off the food with these guys. They haven't been fed since April. I'm trying to do my best to breed these guys this year, and she's definitely doesn't need any more food. She's got a good weight to her. But yeah, it's so cool to see her up climbing. There's no heat in this enclosure at the moment either, so the little guys are climbing all over the heat panel, which they don't usually do if it's hot. But these guys are still so active, even though it's just an ambient, probably 16, 17 degrees in here. It's so cool to see these guys up, crawling around, especially Arrow. The young diamonds I'm used to seeing around, but climbing around rather. There's a gorgeous face. Alright guys, the Exoterra rack's all nice and clean. All the glass looks fantastic. We're on to the next task, and that's feeding out some quails. So I've just had these defrosting in a bucket for, I don't know, last few hours or so of warm water. We're going to feed a few critters. Alright, so we're going to start with Loki. He's already keen. We've got a couple of chickens here for him. What are you going to do with that? He really knocks him back. I'm going to give him a bit of a big feed today too, just because he's been a good lizard. Let's go give him another one. Good boy. You're eating it the wrong way around though. You know that, right? Don't care. Okay. Gonna eat it sideways. Look at how he just pushes it right down using his neck to kind of turn it around into the belly. That's the back end of 2 chickens. So next up we have the rough scale pythons. These guys usually love chicks, so a couple of baby quails hopefully won't go astray. Hopefully you can see them in there. If you don't want it, somebody else will. There we go. Triggered a bit of a feeding response now. Alright, let's see if the female rough scale is in the mood. It's kind of cool, she was almost showing off the big threat display. See if I can get her to do it again. Yay, there's some teeth. Ooh. Okay, so clearly my female Ruffy did not want an absolute bar of that quail chick. So we're going to try something a little bit different. Now, my filly is definitely accustomed to the odd mouse here or there. And recently I've seen some photos on Facebook of Frunex eating like some pretty big birds. So I'm going to give it a go and see if he actually wants to eat this little chick. All right, mate. How's it, mate? Not half bad? Well, that'll do you for a while. Atlas is up next. Get him a big quail. No more for you, Lokes. Come on, Atlas. I know you can smell it. That's the one thing that always switches this snake on, is a bird. And here we go. This girl loves these. That was actually probably one of the calmest strikes I've had out of this girl. There you go, Midori. Little snack for a bit, eh? So last but not least, a little wasabi. We'll see if this little green's keen. Straight into it. So we're getting there for the day. The second last thing that I'm going to do is I just want to add a few extra plants into a couple of my tanks inside the Exoterra rack here. I managed to pick up some bromeliads for so cheap. These guys were $6 or something on sale at Flower Power. Got a couple of those. And then I also got a couple of much nicer kind of coloured bromeliads. So in particular, I'm going to add these in with the Perron's tree frogs. I'll see how spacing goes as to whether I add in any of them into any of the other tanks. I do have a ficus tree that I want to add into the Boyd's Forest Dragon tank, but I'm going to leave that for today just because I'm going to wait for that new light system to come. I'm also just running out of time, so I'd rather give them, the little Boyds, a good feed today rather than mucking around with their tank too much and shoving a tree into it. So anyway, I'm going to crack on and get a couple of these going into these tanks, and we'll feed out a few wood roaches at the end of this and probably call it a day after that, I'd say. Well, I'm going to see how these bromeliads go in here anyway. The other couple that were in here originally seemed to be doing pretty good, but I just wanted a bit more dense foliage in there, so not a bad time to try to add a bit of colour in there. Hopefully the frogs will go pretty gentle on themselves. There are a couple of little serrated bits on those bromeliads, but yeah, we'll see how it all goes anyway. Looking pretty good. I love the colour of these. Really fantastic. More bromeliads in here too just means that the little frogs have got little water reservoirs they can kind of jump in between to kind of keep themselves hydrated as well. But yeah, we'll see how it all goes. Let's feed some lizards. This isn't for coronavirus. This is just so I don't get wood roach dust up my nose. Because if I do, I'm pretty allergic to these little things, so it doesn't work out well for me. This is always the problem with these Boyd's forest dragons, is you just can never seem to find both of them. Oh, there's the other one. I love being able to tongue feed these guys. And just make sure they're getting the right amount of food and not out competing each other. Oh, that's a big one. Big juicy roach. That'll keep these guys nice and well fed. Give them a couple of days at least. Alright, time to feed the bearded dragon. I can't stand wood roaches, but at the end of the day they're so much easier to breed than crickets. And they're more nutritious as well, so if I have to wear a bane mask just to make sure that these guys get the food that they need, so be it. Come on. Now you're hungry. Usually he feeds from the tongs when we know dramas, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just because of the afternoon, maybe he's filled up on salad. I love this little dude. Such a cool animal. Oh, Atlas, look at that belly. You must be happy, mate. That's a big feed, that'll last you a little while. Well, there you go, guys. There's another Monday done. Another bunch of chores done all throughout all my animals here. I hope you really enjoyed the video. And remember, just as I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do so. I'd really, really appreciate it. And make sure you drop the video a like too. And yeah, I'll keep bringing out some more content on these awesome Australian animals. Alright, take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.